The following program is video supplemental instruction. VSI is brought to you by the Teaching Center, UF's Learning Support Center, www.teachingcenter.ufl.edu.
Okay, for number 2, letter B, we're also trying to find whether or not a series converges. So we have the sum n equals 3 to infinity. When you see a sum with starting at 3 versus starting at 1, don't be thrown off by that, because series are all about what happens as you approach infinity anyway. It usually does not matter at all where you start. So we have arctan of 1 plus 1 over n. So this one is not something you can really use a comparison, a root test, a ratio test. All of those are not going to help you here, because your only function is an inverse trig function of something else. What you can do here, and this is not exactly a trick question, but it should be relatively simple, is that let's just try the test for divergence, because that's the first thing you learned, and most series aren't going to work with that anyway. But every once in a while you're going to get one that does, and that's what happens here. So remember, the test for divergence says if you do the limit as n goes to infinity of your series function, if that's not 0, it automatically diverges. Well, if this is not 0, you have guaranteed divergence. So if you notice, most of the problems you're going to be working with, their limit, if you just look at the function itself, is pretty much always going to be 0, because if it's 0, it could be either way. If it's not 0, it automatically diverges. So let's do this one. We have the limit as n goes to infinity, arctan 1 plus 1 over n. Well, as n goes to infinity, 1 over n goes to 0, and we just get arctan of 1. And arctan of 1 is pi over 4. So this series is a bunch of terms that are just getting closer and closer to pi over 4. But you can think, if you're adding those all together, if you're getting towards pi over 4, that means eventually you're basically just adding pi over 4 to itself over and over and over and over. Well, that sum just keeps going up. It definitely doesn't converge. So this right here is proof that that series diverges.
The Teaching Center, UF's Learning Support Center, www.teachingcenter.ufl.edu.